Hey guys, welcome back to Too Far Gone Media, where we expose government overreach and tyranny. And today we're going to take a look at an MP called Michelle Garner, and the House leader throws her out of the House because she says something that he says is unparliamentary. And quite frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of all this political correctness garbage. And at the end of the video, she's going to do a rant. It's a bit emotional, but that's why I threw it at the end. And, you know, at least you can see how she feels. Let's check it out.
Today, Cree lawyer Leah Ballantyne, who is a survivor of the 60 scoop, was quoted as saying, "Identity fraud is fraud. I think someone who has taken an oath of office to represent people in a level of government has an ethical duty to be honest with all constituents and all people in Canada, in which case the Minister of Employment has not done." She's right. That Liberal minister falsely claimed Indigenous identity. His company received government contracts using that stolen identity, apparently while consorting with cocaine dealers, and all while he was a sitting Minister of the Crown. What kind of a message is the government sending by allowing him to sit in cabinet? As Jody Wilson-Raybould said today, the Prime Minister is making a mockery of reconciliation and is enabling, quote, white people playing ancestry wheel of fortune. That fraudulent minister must resign, or the Prime Minister must fire him.
Yes, Honourable Member, just to withdraw that word so that we can move on.
Mr. Speaker, I was quoting a Cree lawyer who called the minister a fraud. He is a fraud, and I don't withdraw.
On a point of order. The Honourable Member.
Speaker, earlier you issued an admonishment stemming from a quote in the National Post from a Cree lawyer who noted that the Minister of Employment committed identity fraud when he falsely claimed Indigenous heritage. The minister's company falsely claimed Indigenous ownership and subsequently received government contracts. What word would you suggest Indigenous persons use to describe the minister?
That's I'm not certain if that's a point of order. The point of order which I was going to be coming to the Honourable Member of Calgary-Nose Hill was that she had used the term, which is not appropriate in this place, to call another Honourable Member fraudulent. I invite the Honourable Member from Calgary-Nose Hill to please simply withdraw the use of that word in reference to a specific member of Parliament, a colleague of all of ours.
As recorded in the Hansard on February 9th, 2023, the member from Mirabel referred to the Prime Minister as a fraud. No admonishment was issued. Why are you admonishing me today?
This is not a debate. I'm asking the Honourable Member if she would please please withdraw this simple comment on the use of that word in reference to another Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, I was quoting an Indigenous person as it pertained to identity fraud by the Minister.
One last time I'm going to ask the Honourable Member if she would please withdraw the use of that word in reference to a particular member. I do not see the Honourable Member rising. Ms. Rempel-Garner, I have to name you for disregarding the authority of the Chair. Pursuant to the authority granted to me by Standing Order 11, I order you now to withdraw from the House from any participation by video conference or by electronic voting system for the remainder of this day's sitting.
Okay, I'm coming to you live just outside of the House of Commons here in Ottawa, and something I have served in office for a long time, and something that's I didn't think could happen in Canada just happened to me. The Speaker of the House of Commons of Canada just kicked me out of the House. He just the Speaker of the House of Commons just silenced me in the House of Commons. He said I can't speak today. So and remember, this is the speaker that he's a Liberal member of Parliament. He's been accused on multiple occasions of partisanship. He's had to, go before committee because of partisanship accusations. There's been finding against him. He just literally silenced me in the House of Commons. Now, the mainstream media isn't picking this up, so I need you to do a couple of things for me when I tell you why he did it. And I need you to stay on this feed and listen to why he did this to me, okay? But before you do that, I am going to write all of this up. We know that Justin Trudeau is trying to censor people through Bill C-18, C-11, the news bans, and now C-63. So there's a link in the comments. There will be a link in the comments. I need you to click subscribe. It's free. It will allow me to directly communicate with you, but through email. So there's a link. It's free and allows me to get around these news bans. Now, I'm serious. So I represent 120,000 people, and the Speaker of the House of Commons just prevented me from speaking in the House. He just kicked me out of the House of Commons, and here's why. Today, one of the Liberal cabinet ministers, his name is Randy Boissonneau. If you've been following this story, this man's company, or he claims that his former company, this is the guy that says there was another Randy, and his sketchy company was involved in all these weird dealings with the government. The company's been a subject of a privilege motion. There was newspaper articles this week about somebody who had been busted for cocaine sharing a PO box with the company. Well, this week news broke that he had falsely claimed Indigenous identity. So he falsely claimed, he essentially said that his grandmother was a full-blooded Cree woman, and he was part of the Liberal Indigenous caucus, and now he says that he identifies as white. But the problem with that is that his company, the sketchy company that's been involved in all of these other issues, it claimed Indigenous ownership and then subsequently got government contracts. So in the House of Commons today, I was quoting from a Cree lawyer. I was quoting from a Cree lawyer who was quoted in the National Post today, who called what he did, he called it as identity fraud. And then the Speaker of the House of Commons says, well, you can't say that. You can't say that. And I said, well, what? This is a man who falsely claimed Indigenous identity, and then his company got contracts from the government. That's true. And I quoted a Cree woman who said this was identity fraud. Then he said, no, you have to withdraw that comment. Now, I also noted that there's been other times in the House of Commons that people have called people frauds. There's no admonishment issued there. Then he said, no, you've got to withdraw it. You have to withdraw this comment. And then I asked him, I said, well, what word should Indigenous people call a white man sitting in Justin Trudeau's cabinet who falsely claimed Indigenous identity, whose company then got government contracts? What word should Indigenous people use? And I'll clip all of this. I will put this all on my YouTube channel. I'll put it on this channel afterwards so you can see this interaction. And then he kicked me out of the House of Commons. He said, I can't speak. So for all of my constituents, 120,000 of you, it's not just me. He silenced 120,000 Canadians today. I was supposed to have a speech in the House of Commons this afternoon. I think he knew that. He even said it in question period. He said, I see that you've got a speech later today. He purposely did this to silence me for speaking the truth. That's where we're at in Justin Trudeau's country, right? We now have the government is thumbing its nose at Parliament. It's refusing to issue documents that the House has issued. And that's what happens in a democracy, right? Like Parliament should be able to order documents. And then the Speaker of the House of Commons gives a special ruling just for me that kicks me out of the House of Commons because of this guy. Now, people, this is not being covered in the mainstream media. I need you to share this video. Like, if he's silencing me in the House today, the way that you can help me is by getting this word out. He doesn't want me to tell you about this. He doesn't want me holding the government to account. Obviously, he kicked me out of the House. So share this video. And tell people to share this video if you can. This needs to get out. This video needs to be shared so that you can see what the Canadian Parliament is becoming. You have a speaker who has been on multiple occasions accused of partisanship. Multiple occasions, by the way, okay? He's had to go in front of committee for partisanship, to be hauled in front of there. And now he silences me today for quoting a Cree woman. That's where we're at. Obviously, the Liberals don't want their white cabinet minister who falsely claimed Indigenous identity, and then his company got government contracts claiming Indigenous ownership. Obviously, they don't want us to question him. In fact, there's another privilege motion that they're withholding documents on him. Obviously, they don't want that. But for the Speaker of the House of Commons to kick me out for speaking truth and quoting a Cree woman who was in the National Post today, I can't believe it. Of course I'm not. He asked me to withdraw. What do you think I did? I'm not withdrawing that. Of course I'm not withdrawing. I won't apologize for speaking the truth. You know, if we're at a point in our country where we have to apologize for speaking the truth, for reading a quote in a newspaper in the House of Commons, what kind of country are we, right? The Speaker should never have let it get to that point. Like, complete failure on his part, right? Why would he have kicked me out of the House of Commons? I don't apologize. No way. You know, my constituents did not elect me to come here and be silent and to just be like, oh, yay, liberals, let's be polite. No, they sent me here to ask the tough questions. Like, why? And this was my question today. This is what I got kicked out. How is this man sitting in cabinet? Like, what kind of message does that send? What kind of message does that send to Indigenous people in Canada? I quoted Jody Wilson-Raybould in my question too, right? She said, you know, she called it as white people wheel of fortune, white people ancestry wheel of fortune. And she said, she talked about, you know, the Prime Minister not being serious about reconciliation. Of course, how can the Prime Minister claim to be serious about reconciliation when he has a white man who falsely claimed Indigenous identity? And then to make matters worse, his company, according to the National Post, claimed Indigenous ownership and then got contracts from the government. How can he have that man sit in cabinet and be like, oh, no, we are totally committed to reconciliation. I'm just going to let this guy here sit in cabinet. That's fine. That's totally fine. It's okay. We can have it both ways. Like, that's what Justin Trudeau wants you to believe. But today, when I got up in the House of Commons and said that, the Speaker kicked me out. That's unbelievably ridiculous. So click on the link that's in the comments. I'm going to write about this right now. I'm going to put the clips for this exchange in there so you can see this with your own eyes. Mainstream media is not covering this. So click the link that's in the comments, click subscribe. It'll allow me to directly communicate with you. You don't have to worry about Justin Trudeau's news bans that way and all of these other bills that he's passed to further silence Canadians. But that's the thing. This is where we're at. Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party do not want the truth spoken. They don't want to be held to account. And, you know, I'm sitting here fighting this on behalf of my constituents, but I need your help too. We all need your help. So share this video, click subscribe. There's no way, you know, will you withdraw? Will you withdraw? Of course I'm not going to withdraw. Giddy up. Come on. I don't think so, buddy. I'm not, you know, nobody sent me here to not speak the truth. So share this video. I guess I'm not going back into the House of Commons today. Thanks to the Speaker who is silencing me and 120,000 or so Calgarians today. But unbelievable. This is where we're at in Canada. We're not going to back down though. And guys, we're going to win. I'm telling you this right now. I know there are millions of Canadians across political stripe that are done and that know that Canada can be better than what Justin Trudeau and his censorship agenda and his, you know, inflationary agenda would want for all of us. So anyway, he can silence me, but he can't silence us on these platforms. He can try, and he will, but we're going to work around it. So anyway, I'm going to write this up, give you all of this information, but put the word out that this is what happens in Ottawa, that I get shut down, silenced, kicked out of the House of Commons for holding the government to account. Working hard for you in Ottawa, no matter what the Speaker of the House of Commons does. Have a great day.
Well, there you have it, and there you go. More tyranny in the government, and we need to hold them accountable. This is getting ridiculous. So you guys take care. Stay sexy, Canada. Ow, ow.